We are out on the trails again today. This is Strega Life. I welcome you. And I got my little voice recorder the other day, and I was going to go to a cemetery where my grandfather was buried and ask him some questions about some stories that my dad had relayed to me over the years. But about 2 o'clock in the morning, I got this overwhelming urge to come back out here. I don't know why, but here I am. I did find out some answers, though, and some things that happened last time we were out here. And I turned on the camera because I didn't want to miss anything in case something did happen. Anyway, what I found out was that what I believe was probably a little Native American girl, like I said, from the ages of maybe 12 to 15, was out here. But she was dressed in the traditional homestead kind of dress of 1877 is the year that just keeps coming up. Which would make sense because the Trail of Tears was between 1830 and 1850. And at that time, after that, this area, the Welland community, was part of the lands that were given to the Native Americans to live on. So having a Native American child dressed in the traditional Anglo dress would be, pretty right, pretty well the way it would have been. Now, when I was leaving the trail the other day, and I said, okay, if you're going to make contact with me, you need to do it now. And I said that something had told me Sosie, and I thought it was a name. But I don't think it is a name, because when I got home, I started looking up what it could have been, and still it seemed like a name to me, and I started editing the other video, and it was more clear. The way to say hello and goodbye in Cherokee is OCO. But the Native Americans will say CO. They won't say OCO, they'll just say, OC or something like that. So I believe that's what I was hearing when I said you need to make contact now. I don't know if they were saying hello or goodbye. But I believe that's what they were saying. They were making contact. So here I am, out here again, walking the trails, and I'm walking the trail backwards so that I can get, somebody dug a great big hole in the ground, see? Don't know, might have been an animal. But it doesn't surprise me that there are spirits that do come back here, because this is a beautiful place, and if this is where their homestead was, and especially if they've had ancestors that may be interred around here somewhere, they would come and visit. Now you have people that come on the trails all the time, and they said they'd say, well, nothing's ever happened to them, but are they open to it? Are they looking for it? Can they sense it? And does the other side want to make contact? So I did find out some things that were relevant and that pretty much lined up. At that time, I don't think any of this land right here was given to any one certain family. So it was just pretty much settled by, any of the 5 tribes, any of the people from the 5 tribes. Now, there were 2 factions of the Cherokee that came over. One actually came over before the Trail of Tears because they knew it was coming. And that was the Ridge and his party. And they are the Katua people. And one of their members had a dream that said that they knew that there were so many white people that they would never be able to stem the flow of the white people. So they went ahead and moved. And then there's the John Ross faction, which are the ones that actually came over. On the Trail of Tears. I've got some people coming through, so I'm going to put down the phone. Hello.
Oh, excuse me.
That's okay. Three men hiking with their hiking sticks. It's a beautiful day. Probably wanted to be out in nature. They think those sticks are going to keep the snakes away from them. And I guess you could kill a snake with a stick. But if you stand completely still or back up slowly, those snakes will usually leave you alone. Not 100% sure, but I sure wouldn't want to infuriate them with a stick. So that's the first time, actually, I've been out here to where I have run into more than one person at a time. They're usually jogging. But there's a lot of toe stumpers out here. Something that can catch your boot. I am kind of glad they went by before we make it to this little hut, because if I know no one's around, I'm going to turn on my spirit, it's not a spirit talker, it's just a recorder. I wonder where that came from. See that pipe? That doesn't belong out here. And then I'm going to turn on my recorder and I'm going to sit down. I'm just going to ask some questions. And then I have to play it back because, like I said, it's not a spirit talker. So I have to play it back and see if we get anything. And then when I edit, I'll have to put it across the screen if we do find something. If you can't hear it. I'm hoping you can hear it. I know I used to take these things to conferences and you could hear anything even out in the hallway. So that's what I'm hoping for. They probably wondered what I was doing out here with this bag. But you know what? I have finally decided I do not care what anybody else says. I am curious now. Because like I said, some of what I have thought of and what has come to my mind is actually legit. So it is time to try to actually make contact and You know, I'm getting woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning, something saying, come out to the trails. And you can't, because of course the trails are closed then from dawn to dusk. But yeah, I guess now if someone wants to take me to jail for bringing in my cameras and my equipment, you know, handcuff me and take me away. Because curiosity is huge in my life. So we're going to figure it out. I just want to know what her name is, and if she wants me to come out and visit her, I will. I would like to know if there's any more of her family out here. I get the idea that there probably are at times. I know that she doesn't need to be passed over because she seems completely at ease. She's happy. Don't see any shadows today, though. But you know, hey, spirits don't have to have shadows. You see shadows, it's because something's wanting you to notice them. Here's that weird tree. I wouldn't like passing 3 men out here when I'm walking by myself. But what they don't know is that I always bring protection. And I probably couldn't shoot a gun, hit the side of a barn. But I'm pretty deadly with a knife. And I've got one in my bag here. So, and I hear things far away, so I'm not going to be taken unaware. I may not see very well when I get out in a place like this, but it's like my ears are hyper alert. Here's the hut. So, guess I'm going to be doing the right thing. I hope I can get this video right, because seriously, every time I try to do this, I end up, something doesn't record or I mess up something. And I'm learning how to edit, so it's like I'm going to have to splice and put together so much of this. And I'm just hoping I can do it, because this is like the 3rd time I've tried. So to recap, I know that the person is from 1877, around in that time. They're wearing traditional Anglo dress, but I believe they're Cherokee. When I was leaving the park last time, I had someone say, I thought it was Soshi. But going back over, editing the last video, I realized it was Osi, which is hello and goodbye in Cherokee. So I was right there. It's a Cherokee speaker. I'm hoping that even when I get my recorder out and start recording, that I can understand some of the speech. If not, I will have to contact a friend of mine and see if she can't translate, if I can get anything at all. But let's go ahead now, and since there are more cryptids out here than just the spirit that I'm trying to contact, I'm going to go ahead and cut up an apple and leave it out here for an offering for little people, or for even the animals that might be here. And then I'm going to go ahead and get quiet for a little bit and just look around, because I'm going to have to see if that voice recorder will try to contact, will bring out in anything. If not, well, there's always next time. So let me go ahead and get this started. Okay, the first thing I always do, and I'm hoping I don't see any more hikers because then I'm going to have to try to bundle up and get out of here real fast, is sage. And that is basically to make sure nothing attaches to me and wants to go home, because I don't want anything at my home. And I realize that it's probably not bad, but at the same time, my family may not be as, what can I say? They might not accept it like I do. Like I said, I've been around this forever. I went to visit my Grandma Proctor. When I was about 5 years old, we came in. I'm an Army brat. And we came into where she was, and she's full blood, right? And I don't remember ever seeing her. And she told me, she looked at me and she says, I know you. I'm going, what? You know, because old woman. But instead of being scared of her, like my sisters were, I went over there and sat by her. And I said, who am I? And this is something that still baffles me to today, because she said, Lucille. My name's not Lucille. But who's to say it wasn't at one time? Anyway, she knew who I was, or she said she thought she did. And it's kind of strange because she's always been very special to me, her and her side of the family. And that's a whole nother video, and we'll get into after a while. Now, yes, I'm bringing sage out here. Sage is a blessing, and it goes to all 4 directions. And I go over my body. And I usually say a chant. I don't know if I should do it here because there's a lot of people. And they would think I'm crazy. Which, you know, I've been told that already, so who cares? The next tarot card I'm doing, actually, after Justice, is the Hanged Man. And the Hanged Man is the tarot card that tells you that you can be your own person no matter what anybody else wants you to be, because that's how God made you. Thank you. Are you going to throw things down from the trees? Throw things at me? That's fine. That's fine. I know. Get a move on? Okay. Anyway, what I was going to say is whenever I bring anything that makes fire, especially this time of year with all the dry leaves, I also bring water, because I'm going to put this out before I even put it down anywhere where it can catch anything, because I am not going to be responsible for burning up any kind of nature. So, I give blessings to the Great Spirit. All I do and all that comes to me comes through thy name. Help me to understand things that I should understand. Keep me safe in my endeavors. Bring me home to my family. Unblock my mind. And be at peace always. Be within me. Amen. I have to remember that anything I do, any kind of communication I get, is not through my soul, but it comes to me from the higher power, letting it come through to me. I do not have that power myself. Okay. So, Spirit, if you're out there, I hope you'll come and talk to me. Putting out the sage with water. I always bring a bottle of water, not only for hydration, but to make sure I'm not starting any fires. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut up this apple, because if they're small people or small animals, and then I want them to be able to share it instead of taking the whole thing and running off and somebody doesn't get any. to really watch. This thing's sharp and I don't want my hand to go all the way through it. And see my knife blade? Of course it has all that juice from the apple now. Paper towel. Yeah, do a lot with paper towel. And then of course it goes back into the sheath, because if I happen to fall, okay, I don't want to fall on it, because this thing would be the end of me. Hello? Okay. Okay, so I have 4 pieces of apple, and I'm just going to put them up and down this branch that I have my tripod on. This would be a perfect little person house, wouldn't it? Coming back up the trail, and I ran into this. It'd be perfect. I'm gonna go ahead and keep you on just in case we run into anything else like this. This bag is getting heavy. I have went past one more jogger. So that's 4 people today. Trails are busy. Remember last time when we were here, we heard gunshots, and then we saw some deer not long after that come running out. So either somebody was shooting and spooked the deer, or the deer was in somebody's garden, or something, I don't know. But anyway, I knew that I had heard footprints, and I said, you know, I heard footprints. Well, that was debunked, because yeah, there were deer. Today, other than the spirit, this that kind of just keeps following me. I don't really feel anything. Somebody dug a huge gap in there, and I don't know why. Hope nobody trips and gets their ankle twisted in there. If someone did that on purpose, that was kind of irresponsible. Here you go. Here's another one, a lot like that one, where they have the hole under the tree, the gap under the tree, and then the little branches kind of sheltering it. You know, I get more grief over believing in little people than I do about any other cryptid. But you know, at one time there were giants. So if there can be giants, why can't there be little people? People don't believe in what they can't see. All I can say is, I feel sorry for you. Kind of cool the way that rock's hollowed out there too. See? You know, once upon a time, we only had camping places around here where you could actually come and do camping away from other people. See, like in that area right there, you can tell that used to be a campsite at one time because of the way the trees and are situated, but it's not allowed anymore. Here's another one over here, campsite, which I really find sad. Lord, my back's hurting. I bet I cut up some Excedrin before I even get out of the parking lot. Okay, what was that? Whatever it was, by the time I even heard it, I missed it. This place is full of what I call toe smackers. You know, where you can hit your toe and just about fall over on yourself. But it's a trail, you know. It's not paved. Here you go. See this? There's something living in there. For sure. It's surprising me because I'm seeing quite a few acorns, but they're tiny. And the other day when I saw them, they were big acorns. You know, the pine cones are tiny, the acorns are big. Yeah, okay, there you go. I had it wrong. Okay, I must be coming to the end of the trail pretty soon because my companion has went back into the brush behind me. Now I feel like I'm alone. So, okay. So I'm going to have to, this is going to be bad because I'm going to end up having to take weekly trips out here now just to visit. And the weather's going to start coming in cold. And if I don't make it out here, I'm going to feel guilty. Because I know that when I left today, I made my companion happy. I don't know how to play the flute. I don't want to get loud doing my chants because people are out here. So, I guess I could bring a recording of the flutes and play it for her. Slow down here because I'm hearing something. We are close to the end of the trails, but I'm hearing it back in the opposite direction. I'm trying to show you places where the little people certainly could be living. I hear whistling. I hear whistling. Listen. Okay, I'm about to leave. Weather permitting, I'll come see you next week. See you. And for the rest of you, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Oh my gosh, look at that burl. Oh, I would love to have that for Odd's treasure trove. Look at that. Okay, well, I'm going to turn this off. And I'll see you guys later.